Seems to me to gain or regain that position of strength, we need to give you some help. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I'm asking for help on modernizing our entire forces and making sure we have the force structure that is needed to make sure we can deter not only today but into the future.
And what would be your priorities?
Senator, my priorities are to modernize the platform elements of the triad. I think when you look across the
Which are?
The platform elements of the triad are first the submarine, the Ohio-class replacement program, the Columbia. That is number one on the issue. The next is the GBSD, the ground-based strategic deterrent, the replacement for our Minuteman ICBMs. The third piece is the B-21 bomber with the long-range standoff weapon associated with that. That's the replacement to the air-launched cruise missile. The second piece of the puzzle is the modernization of the nuclear weapons. The nuclear weapons themselves have to be modernized so they can last well into the coming decades. And finally, a very important piece that I'm probably most concerned about right now is the nuclear command and control modernization that we have to have as we move into the coming decades.
Under the present circumstances of sequestration, do you see any way of achieving all those goals?
Senator, if we don't get stable budgets, you know, when I spread all those programs out across the table, and I have, and I look at when they all deliver just in time. Take one example, the Columbia submarine. Every year that program, if it slips 1 year, then the future commander of Stratcom is down one nuclear submarine. 2 years, 2 nuclear submarines. We know that because there's a certain time in the future where the Ohio-class submarine just will not go under the water anymore. Just the pressure on the vessel itself will not allow it to go down. That has to stay on time. If each of those programs delivers just in time, and we don't have stable budgets, we know we already have a broken program. So I'm very concerned about the ability to have stable budgets to support those programs.
And what does a continuing resolution do to you and your plans that you just outlined?
A continuing resolution makes it very hard to start new programs, which many of these programs will be new program starts. Each of these programs will ramp up in terms of funding over the years as we move from development phase into production phase. Every time you have a continuing resolution, you can't ramp up the funding you need in order to do that. Every time that happens, you have a delay to the program. Every time that happens, you have a break to a contract. It's a very significant issue in terms of cost to the taxpayers as well as risk to our national security.